and Eric Fogel's the head.
Take me to your leader.
As we got into making Aeon Flux as a series, I was thinking this is a fantastic opportunity. This is the kind of property that you don't really see done on TV very often. We felt good that we had a balance between things that we were pushing the edge on creatively, even if we might have a little smaller audience.
I had always been interested in telling different kinds of stories in unconventional ways. I mean, that was really, my whole interest in wanting to be a writer-director.
We'd been given a pretty significant amount of leeway on liquid television. Everything was very intense, very concentrated. You were packing an awful lot into these very short periods of time. We wanted to maintain that for the series, but realistically, were we going to be able to do that?
It was, just a runaway train of sleepless nights, endless conjecture.
Getting into Peter's mind is probably the most difficult thing about working on this show, because it's the most personal show I've ever worked on.
The single most important thing about the character was that she's self-motivated, that she does not belong to any kind of organization. She's not fighting crime. She's not trying to uphold the law. She's not upholding any kind of ideology or fighting for her country. Everything that she does is personal.
She was a little racy and edgy, but that was sort of the point, and everybody knew that from the beginning when you saw the shorts. So the challenge was back to trying to make sure that Peter's vision got on the screen and had integrity, yet could be shown so that a larger audience could see it.
I think we were kind of given to know right up that when we were going to series that there would be some concerns from standards. I think fairly rapidly MTV was disabused of the idea that it could play easily on Saturday morning.
There were, of course, various euphemisms, double entendres, hidden meanings, subtexts, that it's quite possible that the MTV executives would have been concerned the audience wouldn't understand. But you see, they didn't understand them either. They didn't even notice them. So we were okay.
We were all aware that with the liquid TV things, nobody had said really more than 2 lines of dialogue, if that. And that bringing these voices to these characters that heretofore had only been seen was going to be critical and really a risk.
We all initially were kind of challenged with how is that going to happen, given this character hasn't had a voice. How's it going to sound? How's it going to work? How's it going to play?
I think we wanted to create a set of voices that weren't distinctively from anywhere. I'm not sure that we even really thought of Monica and Brenya as being on Earth, per se.
I knew early on that Aeon wasn't going to talk a lot. I mean, she's a very secretive character, she's very guarded, and perhaps the most important thing was to make sure that she came across as a smart character, and I wanted that to be reflected in the way she spoke.
Tell me why I shouldn't kill you. We're being watched.
My name is Aeon Flux. I'm here on a mission to assassinate Trevor Goodchild. Is everybody listening? Do you believe me?
Everybody happy now?
When Denise Poirier was brought in by Jack Fletcher, she just seemed to have a stronger impulse than anyone else that we really had read for the part.
I think to develop her voice, it came from a place of real strong motivation, and there was no extraneous dialogue. It was very much get the work done and with a sense of humor at the same time. This isn't what I asked for, Ilbrin. All I see here is a lot of money.
The search for Aeon was critical, but we quickly discovered that it was a partnership, and the Trevor we decided on was going to directly influence the Aeon and vice versa.
I'm John Lee, and I play the role of Trevor Goodchild.
John gave sort of elegance to the character. He sort of put the smoking jacket onto Trevor, and that seemed to really work.
I hold the future of Brenya in my hand. See it, my friends, and embrace it. Embrace!
Trevor is an administrator. Aeon Flux is an anarchist. Trevor's got it handed to her because he knows that this incredible hottie has more balls in her little finger than all you.
There's obviously this opposition of the two of them philosophically and this lust for each other, which neither of them is completely comfortable with, but which they realize they can't overcome.
They're probably not that atypical of a lot of people who feel like they've met their soulmate at the very wrong time in their life.
Go ahead. Kill me if that's what you want. You can't do it.
You think you know what I'm doing, so obviously you don't. What I have in mind for you is much worse.
They're trapped being pulled together by circumstance, but once they get together, they just don't want to be apart.
Trevor's line that what doesn't kill you makes you stranger kind of sums up the combination of sexuality and violence that their relationship encompasses.
They have good and bad in them, as do all of us. And most of the shows were about creating ethical and moral dilemmas for them and letting those play out.
Peter's definitely trying to make a show that makes you sit back and go, wow, what was that about?
I don't think MTV has ever had anything nearly as intellectually engaging as Aeon Flux on its air.
Most of the stories were easy for people to follow, but not all of them. So I think in some ways that maybe we could have opened it up to a little bit of a larger audience. But with that said, I think we maintained the integrity of the original character the way that Peter had hoped to.
We wanted to explode the envelope of this science fiction vehicle.
As we have moved into a period of taking sides globally, this demand that we see everybody in black and white, either somebody is good or they're evil, it becomes all the more important that we get reminded, as we do in every episode of Aeon Flux, that the world is made of shades of gray. And what might seem like a good idea from one side can be a very, very bad idea from another.
It's kind of funny working in Hollywood. Things tend to get polarized into either being pure escapism or something didactic, and I'm really not interested in doing either one of those. I'm really interested in getting the viewer to shift his mind into thinking in a new way, and that's really what these shows is about. I don't have a specific message that I'm hoping that each viewer gets out of the whole series. It's really up to them what they want to take away from it. When you're making a film in any medium, you're never really finished with it. It's just you have to deliver it at a certain point. You just have to stop. There had always been parts of the show when they were all finished and had aired that I wanted to go back and fix. These are the very first Aeon Flux episodes. Some of the things we're doing for the new enhanced version of the episodes for the DVD is that we're adding some effects in terms of lighting and shading, and also maybe tweaking the colors a little bit to give it a more varied look, which is possible now, I think, with digital color correction. I'm very excited about the way that the remastered version of the episodes looks. Just because I think that people who are familiar with the show have seen the shows in their original form so many times. And I know I have, so I'm interested in presenting them in a brand new way. I think it gives it a new life, and I think that fans will appreciate it.